This is section 1.3 in chapter 1, our unit on operations, and this is about adding integers. So in elementary school, we're taught that adding two numbers together makes a bigger number. That's just how our basics are taught. Add two things together, they get bigger. However, when we're dealing with negative values, adding does not always make a bigger number. And so it's sometimes we're really subtracting when it comes to negatives. This is what makes adding integers a little bit trickier than it was back in grade school. So when we're adding two positive values together, it's just our basic adding. 5 plus 7, we add them together, we get 12. 3 plus 11, we add them together, we get 14. 19 plus 47, we do not have a calculator, so we can stack these and we can add them together. 9 plus 7 is 16, carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. So we can just add like we've always done. When it comes to adding two negative values, the same rule applies. However, the answer is going to be negative. So negative 5 plus negative 7 is going to be negative 12. We're still adding 5 and 7. It's just that because they're both negative, we end up with a negative. This is like if you owe someone $5 and you owe someone else $7. Together you owe $12. Some students see it better on a number line, and the book talks about using a number line to sometimes help. If you're at negative 5 on the number line and you add a negative 7, you go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you can imagine ending up at negative 12 on the number line. So this is adding negative 7 actually makes you go to the left on the number line. So some students see it better with the number line. I've always said think money. Just think about a negative is when you owe someone money. And so that's how I've always thought about it. The number line's fine. The money scenario is fine too. Or you can just remember that when you're adding two negatives together, it makes a negative value. So negative 3 plus negative 11 is going to be negative 14. And here, negative 19 plus negative 47, we're still adding a 19 and 47 just like we did up here, except our answer is now negative 66. So adding two negatives makes a negative, and you're still physically adding those numbers together. So a positive with another positive added together makes a positive. Adding two negatives makes a negative. The tricky part is when we're adding a positive and a negative. Here, if one of the numbers is positive and the other number is negative, and you're being asked to add them together, we're really subtracting. And I'll explain that a few different ways. Different students understand it differently, and I'll find, hopefully, a way that can click for you. We do not have our calculators during these operations, and it's very important to understand how to get these answers without a calculator. So do not use your phone on your homework. Do not use a calculator. Make sure you can do all of these operations without a calculator. So here, when we have a negative and a positive, some students can just get the answer. Some students really have to think about this. Again, you can think money. You can think number line. Some students come up with a rule that just makes sense to them, so I'll explain the different techniques. So one technique is to think money, which is the way that I like to think about it. If I owe someone $3 and I earn $7, then I would be paying them back the $3, and I would end up with a positive $4. What we're really doing, we're really subtracting 7 and 3. 7 minus 3 is 4, and it ends up being positive because the positive number is bigger. Some students that clicks for them, some students that does not make any sense at all. Let me show you how it works on the number line. On a number line, let me fold this so you can see it. On the number line, if we are at -3, so we're here, we're at -3 on the number line, and we're going to add 7. We're going to go to the right 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and look where we end up at +4. So we're adding 7. So for some students, the number line is really clear. The book talks about using the number line, and you can always draw yourself a little number line at the top of your page if this is what makes sense to you. You can think money. You can make up a rule. The rules are a little confusing to me, but some students it really clicks. So let's try the next one. On the next one, we have +6 plus -12. +6 plus -12. If we think money, if I have $6, but somehow I end up owing someone $12, I'm short by $6. I have a -$6. I had $6, now I owe someone $12, and I am short $6. What we're really doing is subtracting 12 and 6. And since this time the negative number is bigger, our final result is negative. Again, some students that makes perfect sense, some students that is just confusing. So let me show you on the number line. Eventually you will find a way that works for you, and you will be able to work all of these problems in whatever way makes sense. On the number line here, if I'm at +6, here I am at +6, and this time I'm going to add a -12, which means I'm going to move to the left. I'm going to move in the negative direction 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I end up at -6. So I've added -12 and moved to the left. So that is the number line technique. Some students really like that. Some students only need that at first, and then they can work it out in their head. So whatever works for you, you can draw number lines all over your papers, I don't care, as long as it's making sense and you're getting the correct answer. So again, think money, you can come up with a rule, or you can use the number line, whichever works. Or if there's another technique that makes sense, that's fine too. Let's see, the next one is +12 plus -7. So I have $12 and I owe someone $7. Well, if I pay them their $7, in my pocket I have left a +5 if I think money. You can also think that we're really subtracting 12 and 7, which is 5, and the positive number is bigger, so my result is positive. I'm going to show you one more time on the number line just so you can kind of get the pattern here. If we're adding a positive, we move to the right. If we're adding a negative, we move to the left. So on the number line, if I'm sitting at +12, you'll have to kind of pretend here. My number line only goes to 10, so 11, 12. I'm sitting here at 12. Oops, can't see that. Sitting at 12, and I'm adding a -7, which means I'm moving backwards 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I end up at +5. Adding -7 means you're moving to the left. So that might help. The number line's a little tedious trying to make the number line, but it is a nice tool to see the result. Alright, I'm going to do the rest of these without support, just kind of talk through them. If it's making sense, awesome. If not, if you need some extra support, just let me know. So the next example here is -10 plus 3. So I owe someone $10 and I've earned $3. I'm still -7. -8 plus 8. Well, if I owe someone $8 and I earn $8, I'm sitting at $0. 0 plus -2. I have no money and I owe someone $2. Well, then I'm -$2. So I always think money, that's just what makes sense. If you need to learn it a different way, we can come up with some different techniques. Let's do another set. -8 plus 9. I owe someone $8 and I earn $9. Then I have $1 left over. 5 plus -9. I have $5 and I owe someone $9. Well, now I'm short $4. And finally, -10 plus 2. I owe someone $10. I earn $2. I'm still short by $8. So we are subtracting the two values, and then we just have to figure out if our result's going to be positive or negative, based on money, or based on the number line, or based on whatever rule you need to come up with for this to make sense. It is extremely important to get every single one of these questions correct. The very basic adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers will be crucial as we move on to more advanced topics in this course, and as you move on to topics in your future courses. Adding and subtracting positives and negatives has to be like second nature. You have to be very proficient at this skill. So practice, practice, practice. There are practice sheets. I can find more practice. Practice until this is just second nature and you're always getting the answer correct. So I put a couple at the bottom. They're a little more challenging. 3 numbers at a time. We're going to go left to right. So we're going to work out the first 2, and then we'll worry about the third one. So here we have -12 plus 12. Ignoring this completely. Just -12 plus 12 is 0. Plus -19, so I'm going to bring down what I see. 0 plus -19, which means I have no money, and I owe someone $19, then I have a -19. 16 plus -1. Again, I'm going to pretend like the last part's not there, and just worry about 16 plus -1. Putting those together, let's see, positive 16 plus -1 is positive 15. And then I'm going to bring down the second part, plus -9, which works out to a positive 6. The next one, I'm just going to worry about the first part, 3 plus 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. Bring down the next part, plus -7. Positive 9 plus -7 is positive 2. And finally here, -8 plus 5 is -3, plus -2. -3 plus -2 is going to give us a -5. A negative plus a negative means we actually add the numbers together, and the end result is negative. So be very clear in your writing. Sometimes when you're moving kind of quick like I just was, you get a little sloppy with your negatives. It's very important to write very clearly. Make your negatives very distinct so that you know for sure if your answer is negative or positive. You want to be very clear, and sometimes I even get moving a little too fast. But you really want to be clear in your writing and know that you have negative values. So that's the basics for adding integers. We will practice this in class a lot, but this is just kind of the foundation on how to add integers together. The next section is on subtracting integers, section 1.4. So this is the opposite of what we were just talking about. We were adding integers and now we're subtracting integers. All right. So it says subtracting is the blank of addition. It is the opposite of addition. Subtracting is the opposite of addition. Therefore, we are going to make all subtraction problems, all of them, what I call opposite addition problems. Opposite addition problems. We are going to add the opposite for all subtraction problems. Your book does not necessarily do this for all subtraction problems, and I have found over the semesters, just for consistency, we can make every single subtraction problem an opposite addition problem and not have to think about when you're supposed to and when you're not supposed to. It's just easier to make all your subtraction problems opposite addition problems. My students have come up with a name that they really like, so my students like to call this keep, change. I had a student come up with that several semesters ago, and it has really stuck. Students really can keep that in their head, this pattern of keep, change. This pattern comes up a lot, and I think it's a very good kind of phrase to remember when it comes to subtraction. Keep, change. The book, our textbook, calls this the 2 pencil stroke method, and that just doesn't jive the same as keep, change. It is the same thing with a different name. So if you view a video in your book, you'll see it called 2 pencil stroke method. I'm going to call it keep, change. It just kind of has a better sound to it and seems to stick in our heads better. So I have several subtraction problems, and we are going to do keep, change for every single problem. Some of you will think, well, that's kind of ridiculous because it's a really easy subtraction problem, but your brain likes patterns and your brain likes consistency, and if we can be consistent every subtraction problem we do keep, change, your brain will like that. I know that sounds a little silly, but your brain is very much about consistency. So we have 6 minus 2. Now, most of you know that 6 minus 2 is 4, and I don't require you to do keep, change, but let me show you how keep, change works. Keep means we keep the first number exactly as it is. We don't touch it. The first change is to change the subtraction sign you see to a plus sign. So the first change is to change the subtraction sign. The second change is to change the symbol on the second value. So it's keep, change. You're doing 2 changes. So it originally said 6 minus 2. Now it says 6 plus negative 2. We are adding the opposite. So we change subtraction to addition. We change the 2 to a negative 2. And again, I know that seems a little ridiculous. However, it is going to keep consistency in your brain. 6 plus negative 2, using the technique we did in section 1.3, is positive 4. On the next problem, I switched them, 2 minus 6. So we're going to keep the 2. We're going to change the subtraction to addition. We're going to change the symbol in front of the 6 to a negative. We're going to do positive 2 plus negative 6. And if you think money, I have $2 and I owe someone $6. I am short $4. So it's really important to be very particular on these. Keep, change. We're going to keep the 8. We're going to change the subtraction to addition. We're going to change the 3 to a negative. Keep, change. 8 plus negative 3 is positive 5. Again, keep the first, change. 2 strokes, 2 pencil strokes, change. Now we have 3 plus negative 8. I have $3 and I owe someone $8 while I'm at negative $5. So we will continue. It doesn't matter what the subtraction problem looks like. If it has a subtraction symbol instead of an addition symbol, we are going to do keep, change. So here we go again, keep. That means keep that first number, whatever it is. Positive, negative, do not change it, just keep it. Keep. We're going to change the first symbol And we're going to change this symbol. So right now it's a -4. We're going to change it and make it a +4. So keep, change, change. -6 plus +4. So I owe someone $6 and I gain $4. I'm at -$2. So if you need a different color for this, I'm going to change to a brighter color. You really want to see the difference. Keep, so K for keep, CC, change, 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 change. Keep, change, change. -4 plus +6. I owe someone $4 and I gain $6. So now I'm at +$2. Different answers based on the order you're subtracting. Very important. Subtracting order matters. Tell my students you cannot pay your bills before you get paid or you will be in trouble. So subtracting, it really matters what order we do this in. So again, keep, change, change. Keep, change, change. -1 plus +3 is +2. Keep, change, change. -3 plus +1 is -2. I hope this is helping. I hope this is starting to click. Keep, change, change. 6 plus +2 is +8. Again, keep, change, change. So if there is not a symbol, you have to make a symbol. So keep, change, change. This becomes -2 plus -6. A negative plus a negative makes a negative. So -2 plus -6 is -8. You owe someone $2. You owe someone else $6. You are negative by $8. Again, keep, change, change. This becomes 5 plus +3, which is +8. Keep, change, change. So we're going to keep the -3. We're going to change the symbol we see to a positive. The 5 does not have a symbol, so we're going to make a symbol of negative. So you're always using your pencil or pen twice. That's why the book calls it the 2 pencil stroke method, because you're making 2 marks every time. So it's keep, change, change. This becomes -3 plus -5, which is -8. And you want to practice this as much as possible. You want this to be routine. You want this to make sense every time. You don't want to be frustrated with these problems. Take the time now to practice and practice and practice, just like a football player does, until it is second nature and you can just work these problems and be 100% confident in your answers. It is crucial for your success in your future courses. So here we have -2 minus 7. Keep, change, change. This becomes -2 plus -7, which is -9. Keep, change, change. This becomes -7 plus -2, once again, -9. Keep, change, change. This becomes -9 plus -2, which is -11. And finally, keep, change, change. So we keep that one, change that, so 2 pencil strokes. This becomes -9 plus +2. So I owe someone $9 and I gain $2. I'm at -$7. This is just a brief introduction on adding and subtracting positive and negative integers. We will do a lot of practice with this in class, and you want to practice as much as possible so that this is very comfortable and you're very confident in your abilities to add and subtract negative and positive values. I will pause there and pick up later.